Project by Adil Khan and Abdulaziz Kokandi. Intro. The Manhattan Project was initiated because of a need of a new weapon, particularly a nuclear weapon. It was led by the United States and with the support of the United Kingdom and Canada. The project was officially put in place in 1942, with the leading scientist being Robert Oppenheimer.
Timeline. James Chadwick discovered the neutron by bombarding a beryllium target with alpha particles in 1932. In 1934, Enrico Fermi produces fission by bombarding uranium atoms with neutrons. In 1938, Lise Meitner and Otto Frisch confirmed the Hahn-Strassmann discovery and communicate their findings to Niels Bohr. In 1945, the first atomic bomb was deployed on Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Who is also known as the father of the atomic bomb, along with the theoretical physicist Enrico Fermi. The first nuclear bomb detonation was in 1945 in New Mexico. Background and objectives. The catalyst for the project was the fear that Germany was making a nuclear weapon. Albert Einstein wrote a letter to the president that they should begin constructing similar research. The project aimed to create a weapon that would be the tipping point in the war.
Key phases 1939 to 1941. Initial research. Scientists were researching the potential danger of harnessing the latent ability of uranium possessing fission, which was a key aspect of the chemical reaction that caused the nuclear bomb. 1942 to 1943. Consolidation and expansion. The project centralized in Berkeley, California under physicist Ernest Lawrence. Significant resources were allocated in different locations where the experiments were taking place. 1944 to 1945. Developments and testing. The testing of the bomb happened in two different places. Two different instances. One was named the Little Boy Bomb and the Fat Man Bomb. The first successful test, known as the Trinity Test, occurred July 16, 1945 in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Outcome and impact. The Trinity Test marked the first successful attempt of a nuclear bomb experiment. Not long after the Trinity Test, America dropped two bombs on Japan, one bomb on Hiroshima on August 6th and one bomb on Nagasaki on August 9th. These bombs effectively helped end the war, as Japan promptly surrendered on August 15th, 1945. The Manhattan Project's success paved the way to the beginning of America's nuclear age, which had drastic impacts on America's international affairs, warfare, and ethics.
Conclusion. Legacy. Soviet Union. The Soviet Union was deeply concerned about the U.S. having the atomic bomb, especially given the context of the Cold War that began shortly after World War II. The Soviets were already conducting their own research into nuclear weapons before 1945. However, they accelerated their efforts after the U.S. bombings. Soviet spies had already infiltrated the Manhattan Project and had gathered a significant amount of information, which helped them fast-track their own bomb development. The USSR successfully tested its first atomic bomb on August 29, 1949, in the Semipalatinsk test site in Kazakhstan. In this test, known as First Lightning, was a major turning point in the nuclear arms race. United Kingdom. The UK had been involved in nuclear research during World War II, contributing to the development of the first atomic bombs through the Tube Alloys project. However, after the war, Britain's nuclear program was largely overshadowed by the US and the Soviet Union. In 1943, the US and the UK had an agreement, the Quebec Agreement, that essentially placed British nuclear efforts under American control. After the war, however, the UK wanted to regain its independence in nuclear development. Britain developed its first nuclear weapon and successfully tested it on October 3, 1952, at Montebello Island off the coast of Australia. France. France, while a key ally of the US during the war, also pursued its own nuclear weapons program. They were inspired both by the strategic necessity of retaining a strong military deterrent and by national pride. In 1945, French scientists, including Joliot Curie, husband of Marie Curie's daughter Irene, were working on nuclear research, and they gradually began to develop their own nuclear weapons program. By the early 1960s, France had successfully detonated its first atomic bomb in the Sahara Desert on February 13th, 1960. Since the drop of the atomic bomb on Japan, there has been a lot of debate on the moral and ethical uses of atomic weapons. However, since then, the project has contributed to the development of nuclear technology and energy, as well as proliferation of more nuclear weapons. Here are our citations, and thank you for listening.